shut up. Had enough of you already. Had enough of our stupid guest as well. Right, here we go. Right, I'm going to say things. Hi. How's it going? Oh, here we go. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Remain Indoors podcast, where we'll be looking at some lighter news from around the internet, having a grumble nearly the whole time, and talking about the ways we're keeping ourselves entertained at home. Remain indoors. Hello, I'm your host, Richard Spanners Reddy. We'll be here on the stream for the next 40 minutes or so, talking about life with an interesting guest. But my co-host for this afternoon is Matt Trumpets. Well, I suppose morning for you, Trumpets.
Yeah, it is very much morning, and anyone who's watching the live stream will enjoy my continual battle with exposure levels on my camera. Every time I look up, I'm either too dark or too light. So apologies to people watching with their actual eyeballs. But,
Someone said they were watching us on a projector.
That's got to be painful. It's really terrible. But you were making a joke about drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning, and this is perfectly acceptable if one is at brunch on the weekend. However, in the city of New Orleans, they have this thing called an eye opener. Okay. And that's literally just an excuse to have a powerful cocktail first thing in the morning. And I have to say, on our visit there, it is not a thing that I actually argued with very much.
Now then, there's two occasions in my life that I have had alcohol that early. So in the military, there was some form of, I can't even remember what it was now, but there was some kind of champagne and strawberries event. And I don't know what occasion it was, but I do remember doing it once on a firing camp. So at the end of a period of firing, they went there to the range in the morning, set up tables, and there was champagne and strawberries. Cannot remember why. But here at Christmas, we always have a glass of some kind of orange Bucks Fizz. That's it. So we do have a bit of alcohol to kick your Christmas day off. Yeah, and I like it. I think life would be better if we all just had a small amount of alcohol in us all the time. The police disagree strongly, especially when it comes to driving.
Yeah, I think I get the driving thing and the flying planes and the stuff like that. But I would say that our prohibition-minded ancestors have done us a disservice when it comes to the regular consumption of alcohol.
So, right, well, it's not just you and me, Matt, and it's not just you and me talking irresponsibly about alcohol consumption. I love that you went straight to don't fly planes. Well, I was under the impression that all airline pilots had some alcohol in them, and quite frankly, I want my pilot to be relaxed. But we're also joined by Liam Taylor at LT Guitar. Hello, Liam.
Yo, how's it going, everybody?
It's pretty good. May I be the first
to... big greeting.
May I be the first to wish you a happy World Chocolate Day, because it is that.
I like having World Appreciation Days for all sorts of things. Do we get a World Cardboard Day?
World Cardboard Day, where we create cardboard tunnels where you turn your stairs into a cardboard slide. No, I don't. I never. Who decides these days? Because it's World Chocolate Day and it's all over Twitter. Everyone's talking about it. Brands are jumping on it because it's an easy one. Going, oh, here, I know we sell death knives, but it's World Chocolate Day, so here's a death knife with a Twix.
Yeah, why not cut your chocolate bar with a death knife? The chocolate bar isn't alive. What have you got to lose?
The chocolate bar's already dead, like your dreams. Cut it with our death knife for Chocolate Day. Yeah, all a bit random, isn't it, Matt? There's got to be a World Trumpeters Day, I'd imagine.
I think there's probably a World Music Day. I'm not sure there's a specific trumpet day. That would probably be a dangerous thing.
It would be excessive. I'm not a fan of chocolate. No, that's not true. I like chocolate in its place. For example, all non-chocolate ice cream is BS. What's the point? If you're going to have ice cream, you may as well have chocolate ice cream. However, in general, I like my excess calories to be in the form of, booze and or lasagna. I don't want to waste. Does that make sense, Liam? If I'm going to sin, I don't want to waste it on chocolate. If it's a chocolate bar, it's 400 calories. I go, or I could have a pint and feel lovely.
What's this or nonsense? Both just combine. If you're gonna sin, why not chocolate, caipirinha, lasagna. What a lovely day we'll have.
Well, I'm trying to stay.
Don't limit yourself.
I'm trying to stay this side of looking like a life-sized Malteser. Is my general aim in life. So I cut down the general roundness, Matt. But I will have some sins.
Yeah, well, I think your problem is you're eating chocolate bars instead of just eating chocolate. Like
Now-
one of my favorite all-time noshes is Valrhona makes these little tiny bits of chocolate. They sell their broken bars, like the 72% and up
Nice.
concentration ones, and they're actually fairly low calorie because there's not really a lot of sugar in them.
Can I afford not to eat them then?
No, you must have them on hand at all times.
So we got my daughter a chocolate bar making kit for Christmas. It's messy, it's glorious, but one of the main things is we never put enough stuff in it. So I don't know whether the chocolate is the most expensive part of, say, a Kit Kat, but Kit Kat are pretty good at going, all right, it's a chocolate bar, but then it's mostly a biscuit inside. So that's how they get you. That's how they get you. And don't get me started on twirls with their massive air gaps. It's just like, I may as well do an empty shell, Liam.
I have a Kit Kat fact for you.
Go, yeah.
Do you know what the inside of Kit Kats are made out of?
Love.
Old Kit Kats that weren't quite good enough to be Kit Kats. I know.
Wait,
Isn't it gross?
Where does that cycle start, though?
Yeah, chicken and egg, right? How was the first Kit Kat made? Or it was just like the Mr. Kit Kat's failed trombone business was the center filling for his first Kit Kat. I don't know.
That's not how I'm thinking of it, actually. I wasn't thinking about the first Kit Kat. I'm thinking about the factory production line where they're like, yep, good Kit Kat, good Kit Kat. No, unacceptable. Red light goes off. The maker of it gets pulled away and fired. Then you have some small percentage of old Kit Kats, and then you put them in the bucket to make the new Kit Kats. Surely they're going to run out of poor quality Kit Kats to make the new Kit Kats. They can't all be made out of discarded Kit Kats.
Yeah, but then, I mean, if you've only got 90% of irregular Kit Kats, you just grab a couple normal Kit Kats and throw them in. It's fine. They're not alive. They don't care. It's all good.
No, fair enough. Maybe I was anthropomorphizing Kit Kats, but when we do it with the kids' kit, we don't put like stuff in it. We think, oh yeah, you chuck a Smartie in there or some of the popping candy or something. But on the whole, every time we've made it, it is pretty much like a solid bar of chocolate with just like a token Smartie on the inside. So it's never really had like an authentic chocolate bar feel. We've not sat there and carefully, delicately layered everything. We've just melted a bunch of chocolate, stuck it in the trays and gone, well, Smartie. So yeah, so we've not done very well there. And yeah, they're sickly and rock hard as well. Because kids have got no patience. You rock hard, freeze them, make them cold. We say it's chocolate bar time, and they go to pull them out, and you just sit there going, what's going to win, chocolate bar or tooth?
You need a hammer at that point,
Yeah.
I think. My daughter, it's not chocolate yet, but she has been baking. And the last thing she made for us was a fruit pizza.
Okay, this is going to take some unpacking.
Yeah, so a fruit pizza is, first of all, imagine a giant sugar cookie.
Okay,
Now, cover it with cream cheese frosting,
I'm with you so far.
and then layer the fruit on top of that, and you have a fruit pizza.
Liam
And
is shaking his head.
it is really good. It is like
Why-
delightfully good. She's made a sheet cake, she's made cupcakes, and now she's made this. And I was talking to her last night, and she has an entire battle plan for the rest of the summer of things she wants to make and flavors she wants to use. It's like a spreadsheet in her head. It's remarkable to me. And it's terrifying for my waistline.
Liam, you look disgusted and appalled.
Well, yeah, it was gross until you revealed that it wasn't actually a pizza with just fruit on it. It's more like an ornate shortbread situation, which
Yep.
I guess is fine. Yeah, if you start putting literally any fruit on a pizza, you're a wrong-un.
Yeah, it
There
doesn't
you go.
make
I've
sense.
taken a
does
hard
it?
stance.
Yeah, I know everyone slags off the pineapple.
Hawaiian.
The pineapple on pizza people. But in their defense, we only slate pineapple pizza people because they're worse than murderers. If it wasn't for that, we would lay off them. But my wife was disappointed that it was World Chocolate Day because she had just laid on a proper tea party for lunch, which is why I might be coming across to you a little sleepy at the moment. I am full of tea party. And I said it's World Chocolate Day. She went, "Aw, why can't it be World Tea Party Day? And I went, well, do you know what? In this house it is. But she did the whole wedding tiered thing. You know, it was the tiered platform that our wedding cake came on. Still got that. And she used that to layer up sandwiches, all different ones in triangles, sausage rolls, little wraps with pastrami, little pastrami wraps. And on top, scones with homemade wild cherry jam and homemade clotting cream or something like that. So it was, what a spread. For lunch. For lunch.
No, it's tea. You may not know this about me, but do you remember when we came to the UK last year with the whole family? We actually did a proper high tea at the Pump Room in Bath. So I now know exactly what should be there. And if you can move after you're done without just sitting still in a coma for half an hour, you've not really had high tea, is my general conclusion. Although Mr. Phil99 suggests you should have a carajillo, which is a Spanish espresso with several brandy shots in it. That might have been the answer to your...
Should have, would have woken me up a little bit. I wasn't expecting it either. Like, I nipped in for like a pot noodle at best, and wife had just decided to surprise the family with this spread. It was epic, and everything had been kind of made from scratch. So go on, Matt.
I was going to say, I don't know about you, Liam, but as I listened to him talk about food more and more, were he not to own a family, I suspect that you would find him a couch, TV with VR attached to it, and a closet full of pot noodles with nothing else to eat.
But I would be so skinny. I would be so skinny. It's just that it's the family meal scenario is where I fall down. Like I can stay out of the cupboards and I can stick to whiskey instead of beer, as we know that is recommended by 8 out of 10 doctors. But the family meals is what gets me. You know, a great bowl of lasagna or pasta or something, and she goes, "Well, why don't you just have less?" I'm like, "It's in front of me. That's not how that works."
And that's because, as we all know, dads are nature's ultimate garbage disposal. I've made my daughter's plate and my maid plate. Here, I put all the rest of the food on your plate, but don't feel like you have to eat it. No, this is not the way our brains work. If it's on the plate, you must eat it.
Yeah, and I've flip-flopped between, yes, I'll be angry that like the kids will leave a thing and they don't want to get in trouble for leaving a thing, so they'll say like, "Dad, do you want it?" And I'll be like indignant. I'll be like, I am not your trash. I'm not the food bin, and I'm not your way of getting out of eating food. Now go away and scoot your plate over here. But also, I will also get angry at them if I find out later they put their plate in the kitchen with like a sausage roll on it that I could have had, and I will be in their ear going, "Guys, don't just put it on the side. I need to be specifically told if there is excess food." So yes, I've sent them mixed messages, but that's also my relationship with food. But if it wasn't for that family scenario, I would be skinny and sad, and you're right, I would have a screen strapped to my face the whole time.
See, I'm really worried I have a kid somewhere now because you've just described me. But as far as I know, no children.
Is that your relationship with food as well? I have begun.
Yeah,
I
man.
shall gorge until I'm finished.
I ain't a quitter. Come on, give me more. Do it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the in-between meals is great. I really do think that it's just once something delicious is there in front of me, I don't stop. Beth Griffith, hello, chat room. Beth says, she sounds remarkably good to you considering she's such a horrible wife. Well, firstly, thank you for acknowledging that she's a horrible wife. I've been finally got this across to you. Yeah, no, but it's not just her. It's all wives. No. I'm kidding. No, but Matt, you've seen how mean my wife is to me and how mean, indeed, my daughter is to me. So I'm not making it up.
Yeah. No, your daughter especially is remarkably savage for one her age. It is usually they have to get to be my daughter's age before they get really full of sass. Like now she's at the point where if I try to work a control and it doesn't work immediately and I grumble about it, which is of course my prerogative is the oldest person in the house and the general IT person. She just looks at me, rolls her eyes and says, "Give it here."
Give it here. Does she? It's got to be a huff with that as well. Like give it here, Dad. And the dad is almost in quotation marks. Give it here, Dad. So called, Dad. Yeah.
And now I know how my parents felt when we got our VCR. Yes.
Okay, so, right. I'm torn in which direction to go here because my boy has created a technical snafu. But let's round off the tea party. Liam, I'm sure you'll be able to sympathise with me here. What I didn't like about the tea party is you get given a plate of your own, which is empty. It's an empty plate. No one has given you food at this point. It is up to you to go to the communal area of food in the middle and get yourself some food. And I spend the whole meal stressed that I will either through politeness not eat enough and be sated and not have had enjoyed what I could have done, or be worried that if I don't take stuff quickly, everyone else will eat too much stuff and there'll be none left.
Oh, okay. Well, firstly, how far away is the dainty thing with all the food on it? Are we talking feet or are we talking centimeters?
We are talking within comfortable arm reach. So you just reach out in front of you and you go, oh, look, oh, there's another sandwich.
Okay, so the Herculean effort you're describing is no.
Yeah.
So that's not really a problem.
No, it's more. It's
and there it is.
It's more of a political situation, and I think you know that. Okay. So I've had two
okay,
sandwiches
fine.
already. Am I going to get a third? I've got to do maths. I've got to do sandwich maths to see how much everyone else is eating.
How much food is there? How many people are there? That's how much you have.
That shouldn't be on me. Okay, so put it a more common situation. Takeaway pizza. You put the takeaway pizza in the middle of the table. You don't know. You don't know how many people. Right? We've now got to the point where one takeaway pizza, it's touch and go whether everyone will get enough. So as dad, you want to go, well, I would happily eat this whole pizza. Let's not make any bones about it. You and I, Liam, will eat a large takeaway pizza that arrives, yeah? And I've got to sit there going, I might have another. Oh, shall I have another? Oh, is there room? Is there enough for me to have a third? When really I've spent the whole time saying, I want all this pizza.
See, I don't have this problem because if I don't order takeaway for family situations because that doesn't sound like fun to me.
Yeah.
If I'm ordering pizza with friends, you order what you want and you basically order a pizza and a side each, and then you eat that pizza or you take it with you and have it for lunch the next day because you're a responsible human. So there's no business of, oh, am I having enough? Because you've brought one pizza, so it's yours.
Never have I ever sat in an alleyway in the rain on my own at 1 a.m. and eaten a whole takeaway pizza to myself. Everybody
Really?
drink.
You haven't lived.
No, I've definitely done that several times.
He absolutely has.
Oh dear, oh dear. So the other tangent, my other opposite tangent, before we get into some Liam Taylor stuff. Oh, it's 17 minutes into the show already, and we haven't got to topic one. Is his phone? His phone. He has a phone that he can use. He uses it for WhatsApp, Skype calling his friends, Zoom calling his friends, and for doing. He's quite into like photography and making stop motion. Absolutely 100% told him, you do not need to set a security setting. So they see mum doing the little pattern security unlock where they have a secret pattern code and he thinks it's cool. So he did it.
Oh,
and I said, take it off. You don't need it. You do not need security pattern. It's only at home. You're not taking it out and about. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. To cut to a couple of weeks later, not only is it back on his phone, but daughter has seen it as well and gone, oh, that's cool. So she's done it on her device as well. So they've now got these patterns. I'm going, you're going to forget it. You're going to forget it. No, we're not. We're not. Take them off. Take them off. I'm telling you now, take them off. Yesterday, boy comes, Dad, I've got a pattern thing on my phone, but I can't remember it. I'm like, what? You can't remember it? I said, I warned you this would happen. I said, don't. So I'm getting angry. Don't. I said, don't put it on there because you'll trip up. You won't forget it. And he goes, well, I did know it, but then I changed it. Well, okay, if you change it, there's a danger you're going to forget. Now, I tricked him because I had this feeling in my head, Matt. I said, I think I can fix it. I can't. I don't know how to fix it. Somebody will have to help me fix this. But I was curious. So I said, to help me unlock this, I'm only going to be able to do it. I have to know the exact amount of times you changed the combination. Because I thought he's changed it so much, he's forgotten it. And he looked at me like he's near tears. And he's like, maybe 4 times. So he sat and changed it 4 times, completely confused himself and has not been able to get into it. My wife turns around to him and goes, right, you don't have access to any screens until you remember the pattern code and unlock it. He was sat there for about 20 minutes doing the code, going, damn, and it makes you wait 30 seconds, doing it again, damn, make it. And then I pulled the plug on it after 20 minutes or so, because it was too cruel.
I was just made me think of the random time I left my keyboard, my typewriter keyboard, attached to my iPad and chucked it all into a bag and got home and discovered that I'd made like 972 password attempts on the way home.
Oh, no.
And I literally spent a whole day not being able to use my iPad until all of the attempts timed out.
Oh, someone's saying Google Family Link might help. We have that. That's on my phone. Does that mean I can... Oh, okay. Okay, there might be an out, but I can hold him to ransom as well. Yeah, I'm gonna. To be honest, it's more being ignored, isn't it, Matt? That's why I want to kind of go, right, you.
Yeah, no, I thought you actually had a solution to the problem, that you weren't just going to sit there and let him suffer and eventually buy a new phone to solve it.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a solution. I was sitting there going,
Is there not a pen on the thing too? You don't have like a numerical password you can use?
No, I Googled it and then I tried a few things and then I got sleepy and fed up. And I was like mad at him. I'm like, okay, the more effort I put in, the quicker you're going to get your device unlocked and your punishment ends. I'm like, right, but I've put enough time into that. So I gave up, pretty much. Well, there we go.
Yes. You got it in the chat room. Michael Diestelhoff.
Yeah.
Open child's account settings and Family Link, tap lock or unlock under their device. And that is your answer.
I'm going to charge him for it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I've decided. Tenner. If he gives me a tenner out of his pocket money, I'll do it.
Well, no, now that you know this, once he unlocks it, if he leaves it on there, you just sit there with Family Link open, and even if he's got the right combination, you just lock it again on him.
Nice.
And mess with him.
We're such good parents. We should do
definitely.
An advice radio show. Liam Taylor, LT guitarist, one of my favorite guest contributors on podcast and radio. You know things and are also a content creator. Remind our audience who've not seen you for a couple of weeks what it is you do with your so-called career.
Music and music education. Everything I do is basically around music, performing arts, music technology, that whole thing. So my day job's in music education. I teach kids how to make music so that they can outgrow my potential and then overtake me career-wise.
So live...
Annoy their parents.
Yeah, and that.
So they can live your dreams. So you go in every morning going, hi, kids. Oh, no, please don't pay attention. I'm just trying to let you live your dreams that I failed to do. I'm not calling you a failure. Just implying.
It's usually their parents' dreams that they haven't achieved that I then have to put onto their children so that they can overtake me. It's this whole like weird triangle of like missed opportunity and stuff.
But you do this like scattergun of projects as well. Like you've got so many projects on the go, and people can see in your background there. You've got cameras, guitars. Your microphone looks like a murdered animal. I don't know why, but yeah. So
it's called a dead cat, isn't it? For a reason.
Is that what it's called?
Dead cat.
Ah.
Or a windshield. But yeah, dead cat.
So tell me about the Calabavirus that you released a couple of weeks ago.
Oh man, this is really fun. So a good friend of mine, Jay Plent, he writes for StabPanda.com. He's one of our main contributors other than me.
Say what Stab Panda is first.
Stab Panther is my underground music blog. So you know how cool it is to find a band and get all your friends into that band.
Yeah.
And you're the really fun hipster that has access to all the music.
Absolutely.
We do that for you. So I get like 30 emails about, can you talk about my cool band? And I go through all of them every day and I'm like, this one maybe will make it onto our blog. So StabPanda.com, if you want to be a hipster and get your friends into cool music, we make that really easy.
I'm in.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm in. I want to do that only because I want the kudos of being like, guys, God, you're listening to Ariana Grande, is it? Oh, so mainstream. I'm listening to Skinny Green Lines. Then they're the next big thing, but they'll never be appreciated until they're dead. Skinny Green Lines. Sorry, yeah, I'm in. StabPanda.com. So your collaborator on that is also collaborating with this.
Yes, so Jay Plent of a band called Scatterchild up in Manchester, very cool band. He came up with the idea of, this was, I think, just like 2 weeks into the lockdown when we all realized we don't know how long we're going to be here and none of us have work. So he said, okay, let's get a whole bunch of different musicians to contribute to a charity album, call it Collabovirus, because he's a fan of a portmanteau like all of us. And so it came out, was it? I'm just going to check my diary. It was a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was. Yeah, the 26th of June it came out on Bandcamp. So collabovirus.bandcamp.com. It's hard to spell, but you'll work it out.
Collabovirus.
And it's 10 tracks.
Yeah.
And it's a mishmash of, I don't know how many artists were involved in the end, but some people would just upload a song, the stems to a song that they hadn't finished, and then someone would take that, add vocals to it, remix it slightly. Some people would just record 30 seconds of bass line and upload that, and pretty much everything that got uploaded got used. So I contributed 2 original pieces of music, one of which used a couple stems from contributors, one of which was like
Oh man,
a one-to-one collaboration with Jay.
Okay, I'm having a look at it.
Added.
I'm having a look
It's
at
really
it now.
cool.
I found it. Collabovirus.bandcamp.com.
And we got a little feature. There's me with my stupid face.
What are you holding up? What magazine?
Cambridge Independent. Everybody.
There
My
we go.
new favorite magazine.
So that's like an
got my
internet page
face in
that
it.
you can just have on the table. That's good.
I'm just going to
Simon
leave it open when my grandparents come over.
Simon Strangiato says Norwegian prog rock. That's where it's at. Yeah, you'll find a lot of that at stabbedpanda.com. So there's some
All the
cool
weird stuff.
names of things in this album. So there's 10 things here. So there's Scatterchild. Oh, is that a person? Oh, here we go.
That's Jay Plent. That's his band.
So, right, here we go. We've got Liam Taylor and Moe, Nothing Like Tears. So that's you. You're Liam Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming Moe, please tell me Moe is like a rapper and that's his rapper name.
No, she is a vocalist. Very good vocalist.
Oh, I was hoping it was going to be you, like doing like, yo, here's my northern accent, doing my song, because that's what you do. And then there was going to be a rapper going, yo, Liam Taylor in the house. He's ginger, but he's quiet as a mouse. He's got big feet. I know. Oh, that's it. I'm out.
Could you not rhyme blonde then, I guess?
I don't know. You're not blonde, are you? No, you're.
I'm 100% blonde.
No.
I'm like entirely blonde.
I think it's your complexion's thrown me off. With a complexion like that, I assumed you were ginger.
No.
There's
Sorry,
quite
Tim.
a bit of the Ed Sheeran about your face, by the way.
Is that a dig or
Ow.
a compliment?
Are you going to
I can't
sit there
really-
and take that? Are you going to sit there and take that?
How dare
don't-
you?
That could be a compliment. I don't know what he
Yeah,
means.
I
I,
could
don't
be-
think he knows what he means.
I
I don't
could
think he
be-
knows what he's saying.
I could be very attracted to Ed Sheeran, as far as you know. I could consider him the pinnacle of attractiveness.
I'm not going to bet on that.
Okay, but so Moe's not a rapper. What happens if I click play? Will that be a drama? Shall I just click play?
Yeah, give it a go.
Will we get a takedown notice? Whoa, here we go.
It's probably loud.
I can only turn you and the music down together. Oh, actually, well, this is it. I'm feeling this vibe already. Should I have asked permission before doing this?
I give you permission.
That's a bit chilled. How long before the singy bit? Oh, here we go.
Now.
To my senses, realize what is what.
I think she's done the heavy lifting on talent on this track, if I'm honest.
A little bit.
Who I am, though I don't know what's to come.
Now, I'd imagine that is a really good track just to have in the background whilst getting quietly wasted alone.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of gently sob along tracks, isn't it?
it's all right. I like that.
When House MD is like doing something really disgusting that his friends don't know about until the next series, it's one of them kind of tracks.
It's the first thing you've done that I've genuinely enjoyed. Oh, no, I said the quiet bit
Thanks,
loud.
mate.
I said the quiet bit out loud again, didn't I? No, that was good. I liked it. So you did the whole
cool.
music-y stuff.
I did most of the music. I think the bass line was a sample from someone else. I made essentially like a template track. Jay played piano to it, Moe did the vocals, and then I did the final mix of it. So it's broadly mine, but it is a collaboration.
So apart from stealing the bass line, getting someone else to play the instruments and getting a vocalist in, you did everything.
all the stuff. The original piano that didn't make it in, the bass line that was someone else's, all me.
I like that. Brilliant. So Collabovirus, and it's a £5. That's all right.
It's a £5.
Thanks for
And
the
all the
charity.
proceeds go to Olympius Music Foundation, which is a charity who help people do music who can't, for various reasons, do music. So us musicians stay poor, but the charity gets money, is what I've come to understand, which is fine. I don't mind. That is absolutely my lot in life. I have a
Musicians-
job making music,
Yeah.
so I don't care. It's all good.
Musicians are so boned in general. You've lost a lot of your your non-school stuff. My wife's lost everything pretty much.
Yeah.
She's still hanging on
Yeah.
with some online lessons, but like singers are going to be the last to be brought into any kind of schools or anything. So her whole calendar from September onwards is dead, and of course summer holidays is dead anyway. Her personal business completely dead because it's all around gathering singers in a room. Can't do that anymore. And trumpet players as well. I think in the UK, what do you call your type of instrument, Matt, where you kind of blow through it like a brass? I think
Wind instruments is the larger category, but there's
yeah.
brass and woodwind instruments.
So I
They're both wind
think
instruments.
wind instruments are also on the kind of no-no list. So it's going to make it very difficult for even people like you, Matt. However, some positivity this week is that you did get out, as discussed on Thursday, you did get out in the public and do trumpeting. You trumpeted. You were trumpeting.
Yes. I rolled the dice. I was playing music.
How'd it go,
Actually,
man?
I wasn't just playing music. I was being an artiste. Thank you very much. Because this is
I like it.
hoity-toity chamber music. I'm going to pretend for the sake of our audience that I was actually trained to play and not just stuff that I do. It was wonderful and terrifying. I mean, you know, how one calculates risk for oneself. It was very low risk, in my opinion, because, of course,
Yeah.
it's all opinion. There's not like real studies. But the concert was an outdoor concert.
That helps.
So the audience is outdoors and away from the stage, and their little bubbles are isolated from each other. And it was a brass quartet. There's only 4 of us on the stage, so we sat well apart. And, you know, outside, far apart,
Yeah.
seems to be pretty low risk.
Yeah.
You know, we'll know in another couple of days for sure, because we're coming up on, it'll be a week Thursday. So, you know, if we hit that, I don't feel sick. I don't have any symptoms. So I'm going to go with I got lucky at the very least. But it was such an affirming experience because
Yes.
the people in the audience it was very important to them. And they made sure to tell us how
that's
wonderful
nice.
and remarkable it was to be able to experience something like this, given all the dislocation and weirdness that has been going on in everybody's life. It was a real reaffirmation. But I don't know about Liam, but one of the problems I've been having with my online lessons is that most of the kids who play music, there's a major social element. I play in a band with my friends, and if you take them away from that social experience, they're not really necessarily interested in pursuing lessons a lot of the time, because without being able to participate, you know, it would be like, oh, I play on a soccer football team with my friends. Okay, well, you can't play together anymore. Okay, but I'm going to keep on taking my soccer lessons online, right? Yeah, no, they don't do that. They're like, oh, if I'm not on a team, why bother? So it's not just the performance, and I will point out that is the one gig that I've had since March 13th, and probably, quite possibly, the only one I will have till we're allowed to gather indoors and in crowds again. But also that a lot of the kids who were taking lessons with me just sort of gave up once their school bands stopped happening and stuff like that. So it's really a difficult time to be a musician in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The social aspect of it is crazy. Like, I know a lot of the kids that I work with for the day job are really struggling because a lot of the time they want to, they want to hang out. Yeah, they'll play music, but they want to mess around. And the only reason half of them get music lessons is so they can learn some lick to try and show off to their friends or to try and outdo them the next rehearsal they have. So without that, a lot of them don't see the point. The only way we've found around that is trying to make these kind of montage videos. So we get the kids to record their parts to a BPM, upload it I'll create a montage video of it, send it back. They redo the parts because if they're not with their friends, they're not trying. So we're working towards having some kind of video collaboration projects, but they are so hard to put together, man. Like I've seen a few people who've done like these huge 100-person orchestras, and I'd look at that and I'm like, I do not have the RAM to do that, or the patience, the mental RAM or the actual RAM.
Was that to do video things? To do like video?
To do video
yeah,
things.
Yeah, no, Nicola's
computers and stuff, mate.
Yeah, Nicola's been doing them. It's the only way she's kept any of the people interested in jumping on the online ones. There's been a 50% uptake at the moment, but it's only because we're fulfilling the things they'd already paid. They'd already paid up to like an end of a term. So we're like, well, we can get a refund, or you can use it as part of these online things. So you go, that's depressing. But so we'll see who actually signs up when you have to cut a check again. But yeah, she's been cutting these lessons in. So at least with these videos, they can show it off to their friends and it's something tangible and go, look, this is a thing I was part of. Look, grandma. And that's the only thing that will get kids back involved. But as you were saying, Matt, the take-up rate is really low. It's less than half. And I think that's only going to go down once the kind of novelty of these online lessons starts to sort of fade away. And everyone's kind of now going, everything's opening in September. That's what the mentality here is now with the online stuff. Everything's opening in September. It's just about the summer holidays. We'll just park all that and we'll see what's going on at school. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, and especially because I know teaching an instrument, and I would imagine teaching vocals as well, there are certain things that are really hard, if not impossible, to fix over video. You sort of got to be there and say, no, put your finger like that. No, you got to hold it like this. No, you got to sit. Your posture needs to be this. Your breathing needs to be this. You know, I mean, so I'll say, give me the trumpet, and I'll put the trumpet on their face for them because they're doing it just so wrong. But also because I know if I put it in a certain place, they will have to adapt.
Yeah. Oh my
and get
God.
things where they should be to make a good sound. And so when you look at certain students and you're just like, how am I going to tell like an 8-year-old that they need to change this?
Yeah.
When, when like standing up straight and breathing at the same time appears to be a challenge for them, you really need to be in the room to help them, and you're not. So you just have to go, we will focus on other objectives until such time as this can be addressed.
I will come to your house and put a trumpet in your face. That's how I've got this horrible image of you. I'm going to put this trumpet in. Come here, boy. I'm going to put this trumpet in your face. Yeah, it sounds like a real threat, that does. But look, your gig, the affirmingness of it, you posted something on Facebook. Follow Matt on Facebook. Search for Matt Trumpets on Facebook. We bullied him into a Facebook account. It is mostly just pictures of his trumpet. And you do post an awful lot of pictures of just your trumpet on the ground in front of you, and you take a picture of it and go, me playing my trumpet at such and such a hall. And then an identical picture of a trumpet, me playing trumpet at the park.
It's like the, was it like Flat Angus or Flat somebody? There was a craze in the States for a while where whenever you went somewhere, you take like this paper cutout person and just take pictures of it wherever you traveled.
Yeah.
And once you had the ability to take pictures and post from your phone, I always like to do it for my gigs because, well, it's just to help me remember.
Yeah.
I'm filled with sadness that I did not have this ability back, when I first got out of school because of all the different places I played and all the, I'd have pictures of myself at Carnegie Hall, what do they call it now? It's where the Philharmonic plays. I played like all the major venues in New York. I played with, Four Tops. I played with the Temptations. I've toured up and down the coast. I played with rock bands. I played with orchestras. I've toured the entire Southwest with chamber groups. I've toured Europe. I did Spain tour with the orchestra. So I'd have all these lovely pictures on Facebook of me in all these different places being a musician. And as the business contracts, and not only does the business contract, but as there are an ever greater supply of even more highly trained musicians coming in, I'm like, yeah, I should definitely get these pictures while I can because, I don't see a good into this from a musician's economic point of view, if you know what I mean.
Liam, have you also gigged with the Four Tops?
Not to the best of my knowledge, no.
If you need any names, just look around Matt's feet. They'll be around there somewhere. But you've done your share of like live gigs, haven't you, Liam? Like been out on the road.
Yeah, not quite as much as I would have liked. I did bits and bobs when I was at music college, and then it's just whatever I can get at the moment. Most of the stuff I do is education based these days. Working on getting a band going whenever the lockdown stops, but we'll see.
But we, and I have experience of live gigs from being my wife's roadie when we first met, and being like just the lifting and carrying, being the heavy, stay away from the band, mate. Right. But Matt, you posted a picture of the lovely scenery because it was outside. Now I'm assuming that you took that picture before the gig really got going, because there was only a few people dotted around, and it took everything in my soul not to ruin your Facebook post by going, and it's a good job there's no audience there to block that view.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge audience, but it was definitely more than we had on stage, which is always a win. And given the current situation,
That's brilliant. Yeah.
the fact that anyone was brave enough to show up to an outdoor concert, and it was the first one, we think it might have been the first one in the entire state of New Jersey since the lockdown, that concert. We probably had 30-ish people, 30 to 50 people, I guess, in the audience once everybody showed up. But it would have been fine if it was 15. It's really the thought that counts at that point. And the fact that we were making music, man, just the sound, so nice.
Yeah.
To just be bathed in that acoustic sound and not playing along with headphones in a swampy office, which is mostly what I do now.
Swampy Office, title of the show. But Liam, when we're out and about as the entertainment, the difference in how you can be treated is so vast. Like I've seen times where like Nicola's been actually like treated like royalty in a place because they're like, oh, it's the duet that we've got in here. This is the singer lady that we've got here, and food's been laid on. They've got their own special area. And then there are other times we've turned up at places and like you're like almost an inconvenience. Like, oh God, got to deal with a bloody musician.
I mean, I used to run gigs. I was a promoter for a few years. We're talking like 10 years ago at this point. So I didn't know what I was doing. I was a terrible promoter, but I was polite, and I would always make sure that artists had whatever they needed. I'd help out with the sound issues or instrumental issues where I could. And half of them were like, "You are doing way more than any other promoter ever has." I'm like, that's because I know I've done a terrible job at promoting this event. So I have to be polite to make up for that.
Make up for the fact that there's nobody here because we didn't tell anybody about it. Why were you so bad at promoting events?
Oh, I didn't know what I was doing. I just thought it would be really easy. And Cambridge is a bit weird as well. There's a lot of people here, but a lot of our residents don't actually live here. They'll be students, which is fair enough. The city exists because of the university and the university staff. But it is a bit disheartening when a city this side can't fill out a small venue. Is it that
there's a lot of venues though in Cambridge?
No, there's like 3. There's like literally 3.
Oh right, and they all struggle to get people out supporting music.
I mean, not so much these days. I think events have kind of become more bespoke. So I know, for example, Theo Sayers, who's on Collabovirus as well, he'll do these really kind of niche appeal electro nights, but he'll pack the place out because he's got a very small audience, but they all know exactly what they're going to get, and they know that event will serve those people specifically. So that's kind of what worked, and maybe that's what I got wrong 10 years ago. And also, it was 10 years ago. Music in Cambridge isn't what music in Cambridge is now. But yeah, I think it's just a good life lesson, isn't it? Especially in the creative industries. If you try to please everyone, no one's going to care. But if you niche down, like properly niche down, you may actually get some traction.
That's a friend of mine who's a known jazz guy, does tours, releases records, played with Miles when he was a kid, like one of those guys. We worked together last summer. And that's what he told me. He's like, dude, man, you do not have to be a genius improviser. What you have to do is have a thing that you get known for, and just really lean into it. Once you find it with your audience, just lean into it, and you're solid. I have yet to find it.
Yeah. We that's what we need to do, Matt. We're too scattergun, sitting talking about F1 1 minute, gardening another, gigging. We should just stick to one thing. Let's talk about audio cables. That's what this podcast is from now on. It's the Audio Cables podcast. So Matt, I've got a cable that attaches one thing to another thing, and I use it for that function. Now,
Yeah, I have one too. Mine is stereo. Is yours mono?
I don't know. Let's get an
Is it
expert.
shielded? What gauge is it?
Let's get an expert in on line 2. We have Jeff Cables. Right, no, that's a terrible idea. We're not going to do that. The thing that Liam was hoping to get known for, I think, he's holding up cables as well. He also has cables. I think you would like to be known as a world famous YouTuber. I'm not wrong there, am I? That
would be all right.
That would be,
I'll
yeah.
take that. I'm not so worried about the fame aspect. Paying rent, more crucial. If I get to be creative and then somehow pay rent at the same time, that'd be nice.
So you'd like to be a housed YouTuber?
Yeah.
Yeah. Own your
Can I
own
be
shed.
those two things?
Own your own shed outright, maybe one day.
My own shed.
Yeah.
My own shed with its own shed.
Liam has
Wow.
a shed, but he lives in his shed. But we gloss over it. We pretend that that's fine and not deeply.
Because my shed's bigger than yours.
Not deeply disappointing. My shed isn't my house, Liam. I have a whole nother house. It's right there.
Bricks and mortar. Humble brag.
Check him out with his bricks and mortar. Right, but you aren't going to be known as a world famous YouTuber the way it's been going because you just couldn't be bothered for a few months and you just sacked it off. That's a weird thing for a content creator to do. I know we have, pod fade, but generally, once you get into it, once you get established and once it becomes part of your life, very rarely do podcasters and YouTubers just go, nah, I'm just going to have 3 months off.
So what happened for me was I spent...
Oh, God, please
I've been
don't
up
say
there-
it was a disease. If you now say it's because I was really ill, I'd sound awful.
I
Once
lost
the
my
rash
giant
resolved.
feet. I've spent, I don't know, something like my first YouTube upload was about 10 years ago. And I think about 6 years ago, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to actually do YouTube? And then about 4 years ago, I actually committed to that and was uploading at least one video every week, Friday, 4 p.m. And it was some kind of music education, something about guitars, something about composition, music theory, Cubase, whatever, some kind of video. And I committed to that for 4 years.
That's what you got to do.
And
Yeah.
that's what you got to do. And I I started doing interviews with people that I look up to. So Dan Lasac of Dan Lasac and Scroobius Pip, a couple of YouTubers, 12 Tone, Tantacruel, Jay Foreman. And it was an interview with Martin Keary, who's Tantacruel, really good YouTube channel, really funny music YouTube channel there, Tantacruel. We were talking and we were basically talking about how YouTube works because he's doing better than me. And I sort of came to the realization that I'd been doing the same thing for 4 years and I'd gotten at that point something like 1,000 subscribers. And I was like, I'm doing something wrong. And you know, the old adage of if you keep doing the same thing but expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. So I was like, I gotta change something.
So you did nothing. So you went from something to just sacking it.
Well, so in my mind, I was taking a break from YouTube. What that meant was not doing the 4 p.m. Friday upload. What I was also doing was 2 live streams a week. And I kept doing them and the occasional upload of like, here's a piece of music I made, whatever. It's not educational, but here you go. So me not doing YouTube for a bit was still doing 6 hours of video a week.
Okay.
Just not that crucial 4 p.m. Friday slot.
Okay.
And then once the lockdown happened, I decided to do a weekly guitar challenge. So every Monday, I'm 1 minute video. Here's a thing to play on guitar. Here's how you do it. Here's why it might not work. Here's the guitar tab inside of 1 minute. And that goes up on all my platforms, YouTube, TikTok, all the big ones. And so having taken a break from YouTube, I am doing 2 live streams a week and a guitar tutorial. And now I'm back in the habit of doing my 4 p.m. Friday slot. So if I don't hit 10K within the month, I'm going to be really upset.
So yeah, if you don't
That's what
get
I'm saying.
instant success from trying one thing,
Yeah.
but look, it sounds like you've got. Would you say this is like a bit scattergun in that? I've had a similar phase in the last few months where I've gone, right, I need another string to my bow, and I don't know which of these 7 avenues it's going to be, so I'm going to wholeheartedly pursue all 7, and see which ones I start getting sniffs of and narrow it down to 3. And then okay, now I've got these 2 things that I can pursue. So is it that kind of thing? Like if the TikTok dancing in a crop top videos don't go viral, that might fall off.
Well, it's my whole attitude is trying to make everything link together. So the reason I run a music blog is so that I can make contacts in the music world, which are then useful. So, for example, I used to review, well, I still do review Professor Elemental, who's a steampunk MC, really fun guy. And because of that, I got to meet him in person. I just said a whole bunch of words that have upset you, haven't I? Steampunk MC.
Yeah, I just like, hang on, it's like you can't just gloss over that. A steampunk MC. So he's just sitting there, in like a metal bits, like a homemade hockey metal apocalypse type costume, spitting out lyrics about what?
I mean, he wears a pith hat and rhymes about tea.
Okay. I don't like him
from life.
What's his name? No, what's his name?
Professor Elemental.
Okay.
Look up Fighting Trousers or Cup of Brown Joy by Professor Elemental. It's really good.
Don't have to. I hate him. I hate him.
Fair enough. Okay, so through the music blog, I got friendly with him, met him in person, and eventually did some remixes for him that he published. So running the music blog has helped me publish music with someone I really look up to. And it's the same reason I do the Conversation App podcast. It started as a way to write music for something. So I got to do the intro music, I got to do all the silly little incidental stuff, all the sound design, and I got to produce it as well. So yeah, I have to host a comedy podcast 2 times a month, but it's a writing credit for music and sound design. So it all links back together.
Are you still doing Conversation Hat?
Yeah, man.
You are still doing it.
More than ever. More than ever.
Well, you should line trumpets up, right? Just to show you, just to show how on rails he is. Like he does not deal well with fastballs, and I would like to see him suffer and squirm. You should have seen it when Alice Ryan was giving him improv games and made him do an accent. It was the most culturally offensive thing we've ever done on this or any other show. Was Matt's Swedish. It was actually really good, actually, that Swedish accent. I still cry laughing about it.
Years and years and years of watching The Muppet Show gave me a bit of an edge on that one.
But you two have been collaborating also, haven't you, on things?
Yeah, working on it.
Yeah, well, tell me about that. Like, what are you having Matt do? Blow into a trumpet, I'm assuming.
Yeah, actually, Matt, while I remember, could you put a face mask over the bell of the trumpet when you record a video? Is that all right? Or is that profoundly uncool?
No, I think there's actually a mute. Well, okay, so long story short, can be done. It can be done, although it's liable to be, we would use Crown Royal bags sometimes when we had to play like really soft and dark. We just put them over the bell of the trumpet. But in jazz, like you have like a hat mute that is like just literally a proper hat. So it's not an unusual thing. Do you want it for all or just for like one?
No, I just think it'd look funny.
Yeah,
for maybe one of them. I'm not worried about the tonal aspects of it. I think it just might be a jolly jape.
I'll tell you what.
Massively insensitive, but either.
Let's make a mockery of a deadly worldwide pandemic. But Liam, I'm noticing I can hear quite a lot of road noise behind you at the moment, and thought I heard a jet overhead as well. But it sounds weird to me because my small shed is completely soundproof. That's why I noticed that. I just picked up on that because my shed is significantly better than yours in that aspect.
Yeah, but yours doesn't have a million guitars. Look, mine will be soundproofed when it next snows. Okay.
Oh, you get a nice layer on top. Yeah. So it's like, hey, can we record you in your studio? Yes. In February for a week and a half, we have good soundproofing here. Yeah, I'd like to see Matt on Conversation Hat, but at least he wouldn't give up on it. Like, I am afraid I gave up on ukulele. You taught me some ukulele. You got me going. I got some 5 weeks into that adventure. And then I think I realized that I wasn't going to get like any better than that, or that the learning curve was actually quite easy. Like you could go up from 0. I was amazed you could go up from 0 to plinky plonky, play a song and sing along to it quite quickly. And then I quickly realized that getting any better than that, the skill versus time curve sharply shallows. And I was like, how am I going to throw significant time at getting better at this? Turns out I don't really care about being able to sing and play the ukulele and don't know where I would ever do it. and the kids got annoyed with me practicing as well.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, what? We spent 20 minutes in the BBC studio and I showed you 3 chords to get going.
That felt so
the 3
good.
easiest chords there were.
That felt so
They had
good.
really long names because they were like just open strings. But yeah, you did it. You played 3 chords basically.
You slated me so much on that show, on live radio. Right, I've listened back to it. You sounded so exasperated, like you were trying to explain to a raccoon how to play the ukulele. And like I nudged the turny tuny things. What are they called? The tuny.
Picked it up by the headstock,
pegs.
which put the whole thing out of tune.
We spent ages putting it in tune at home. I delicately brought it in, and then once we're live on air, I just picked it up by that bit. But the thing is, you didn't have to draw immediate attention to that, making me sound like an incompetent fool on the BBC. Matt, trumpets.
Robbo Lansvids in the chat says, anyone who gives up on ukulele is doing the world of music a huge favor. Thanks, Spanners.
And there's that.
You should take up the accordion just to put it down again. That'd help.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't sound amazing, but I enjoyed the experience of it because I've never, ever been able to play an instrument, let alone play and sing along to an instrument. I taught myself like Lemon Tree and a song from the cartoon where he's a bullfighter, but then he gets bit by a snake and he dies, and then he has to go to the underworld, and then he has to come back, and then he gets blown up in a bell. Come on, you know the one. It's called...
Oh yeah, The Adventures of Snake and the Bullfighter in the Underworld.
It's
I know
called
it very well.
the bull that didn't kill the fighter guy in the Spanish-Mexican hell thing. Yes.
Classic.
Oh, come on, what's it called?
Classic.
L something.
I don't know what you're describing. This is
Come on, it's
completely new
really...
information.
It's not
to me.
Coco, it's the other one. Come on. Help me out, chat room. How long's the
Coco
delay?
2.
No.
Electric Boogaloo.
Anyway, it was a song from that. So it was quite satisfying, but I think I'm done. The world doesn't need my music, is what I concluded. But look, with your scattergun approach, you did, look, there's more of your background noise. Isn't that nice? Oh, it's a nice acoustic background. I like that.
I'm angry that all the rich people in Cambridge have decided that lockdown is over. I'm going to get in my biplane and just around Cambridge.
Okay, it's socially distant in a plane, man. They're far away from all the other planes. But, anyway, your inadequate shared aside, you did briefly go a little viral. Tell us about it with your social media cheat sheet.
Yes, so I, as a helping hand to my friends who make stuff, I've got a lot of people, like really fantastic artists, fantastic musics. Fantastic musics. Good job, Liam.
Do you know what my
musicians?
Do you know what my mum says? She doesn't offer you a sandwich. She asks, "Would you like some sandwich?" Because then that's
Some sandwich.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'd love some sandwich." Yeah, go on.
I mean, that's an answer to the question of, is it a sandwich if you get one piece of bread and fold it? That's not a
don't
sandwich.
know.
You've got folded bread.
Tell us about your
There's
music.
some sandwich. So what I did was I wrote down all of the information I've learned from making stuff in the last 10 years and how to promote it on social media, or rather the theory behind why certain things work on Twitter versus doing different things on Instagram. And I wrote it down, and it was about 3 sheets of A4 on a Google Doc, and I just sent it out to a few friends. And they were really grateful for it. And then a couple of them went, could you do something about Twitch, or could you do something about LinkedIn? So I was adding to it. And I listen to bits of marketing podcasts here and there when I've got nothing better to do. And every now and again, there's a new tip, add to it.
Yeah.
And, I put it on a couple of the music Facebook groups, and then I uploaded it to Reddit as well, just shared it around because people seem to enjoy it. And I checked on it. I haven't shared it in a few days. And this morning, there were 50 people looking at it simultaneously. I could see 50 cursors flipping up and down on this 10-page Google Doc that started as, oh, here's how hashtags work. So this is my, if this is what gets me viral, I'm going to be a little annoyed, but I'm sure I'll be fine with it long term because I put my Ko-fi link at the top of it.
That's good.
who
So
knows?
you created like a community tool for people to use. I mean, 50 might not sound viral, but that was like a snapshot in a moment, which means you probably did have thousands of people crawling all over
So
it.
at that one moment, literally 50 people simultaneously looking at it, and it could be 40, it could be 60 by now. And bearing in mind, I haven't shared it anywhere in days, so who knows where those people are looking at it. So I'm kind of enjoying that minor level of fame.
I wish like you could tell the things that are popular or not. Like I have no idea, Matt. Matt, sometimes you and I, we put together like really good work, or we put together a really good social media thing, or we're proud of it, and like no one listens or consumes it. And then one thing will blow up and you go, what? That was like a complete throwaway. And like the one viral tweet I really, like properly viral tweet I've had was just like a real dumb joke. And you just go, oh, okay. You know, what about the times I was like being super clever?
Yeah, I've never really understood it. I've not ever come close to going viral with anything. My wife did once. She did a full-on analysis of the costumes in the Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman.
Oh, I know that. I saw that. Yes.
And,
I saw that.
and man, like for a week, she basically couldn't use Twitter at all because it was just like mentions and replies, and she was like, wow. So like when I see people who have like 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, I'm like, how do you even Twitter at that scale? Because it seems like it would just blow. Anytime you did anything, it would just blow up.
See, I do wonder, right? So we have like some social media presence. So especially around race day on a Sunday, Monday morning, what is just my normal, like, it's just my domestic phone that I like message my mum pictures of the kids and whatever, or doom scroll on Twitter, all of a sudden becomes like you couldn't have vibrate on. It is just going off all the time. And we get a little bit of a taste of it at Missed Apex around race weekends. But I was karting with a famous journalist who I'd never met before. And he was not in the moment at all because a thing or other had happened on Twitter, and he was just had his head stuck like in his phone, and he felt like he couldn't be present. He was managing kind of this situation, then jumping in a race, then coming back out and kind of looking on his phone again. And I pulled him up on it, and I just went, because I knew like he's got a status, he's very well known. And I was like, why get sucked in that much? And he just went, well, people are taking the time to be invested in what I've said or what I've done. And he goes, and I feel an obligation to be on it, especially once I've put something out there. So I think you'd need to almost have like a separate phone or computer, Matt, to deal with like if you were a celebrity. There's no way like Kim Kardashian is just sitting there like us with just their normal phone trying to look on BBC News and it keeps coming up with like 1 billion notifications.
No, they probably have like 3 or 4 assistants, one for each social media channel, and then they just say a thing and then manage it and ask me if you think it's a problem.
So Lewis Hamilton,
probably how it works.
Lewis Hamilton's on social media all the time, but I'll bet that when he's taking a photo of something for Instagram, he takes the photo and then forwards it to his PA or something like that, and they're the ones that manage it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you at Lewis Hamilton on Twitter, it's not going off on his phone. He's not like, hey man, what's that? Oh, it's Matt PT55 on the thing. So I'm sure it gets filtered by the time it goes to that person.
I would think so. Although, I don't know. I mean, sometimes you see celebrities posting and they have like, mistakes, like grammar mistakes, stuff that you would expect a normal person to do, but not someone who is being paid to do a job for that purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people claim they always know when it's me on the Missed Apex account purely because of the grammar. Let's get out of here, guys. We're going to see you on Tuesday. Go on. Sorry, Liam, I cut you off. What's up, buddy?
I was just going to say, I reckon that's a trick. I reckon it is some social media professional who puts a spelling mistake in there to give the illusion of the actual celebrity. Like when you get a prince from somewhere away trying to send you money and it's full of spelling mistakes. That's not because the person's illiterate. It's to target people who are maybe not so sharp in terms of the internet.
See, if someone was going to be my PA and take over my social media realistically, they would have to be grammatically incorrect, make spelling mistakes, have a tweet up for 30 seconds, delete it, and then put up a new one that's only been tweaked slightly with the spelling mistake, and then get wildly triggered to any negative responses. Otherwise, it's no one's going to believe that it was me. Follow my panel here. Liam Taylor is at LT Guitarist everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, the Hub, the Big P Hub. You're on that at LT Guitarist. It's very niche. It's a very niche category. What else are you on? Twitter.
YouTube's probably the big one. Liam Taylor guitar.
Liam Taylor guitar, not guitarist. I've said guitarist.
LT guitarist for everything else, and
okay.
it really annoys me that
Hey.
I'm not LT guitarist on YouTube.
It wasn't available.
I wasn't LT guitarist when I made the YouTube.
So YouTube won't let you change your channel handle, will it? Because Brad Philpott, the race driver off of Missed Apex podcast, he's still got the same handle from when he was 15 when he signed up, and it's Brad Dude 2K, and I love it. Like, he's quite a serious guy, but his YouTube channel is Brad Dude 2K. I like that. I enjoy it. Matt is at MattPT55. You can email him, mattpt55@gmail.com. Do email him. I get a lot of emails from listeners of Missed Apex and from Remain Indoors, and I love hearing what you think of what we're putting out, what you're doing while you're listening to our shows, and how it slots into your life. I love that. Matt would love that as well. At mattpt55@gmail.com. Follow me at Spanners Ready and the show at Indoors Remain. We're getting out of here. We'll be back on Tuesday with Lauren, talking fitness and life and stuff. Until then, work hard, be kind, have fun, and remain indoors. I messed up, Liam, because I realised that with this music, look, here's the music again. Look. You did this. Liam made this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is Liam. I didn't pay him. It's for exposure. But it's overly compressed because I add the overall show compression. Yeah. So sorry about that. I just realised that I mucked up your music. I was like, oh, why that doesn't sound quite right? It's because there's an overall kind of radio levelly compressor going on everything live. And just another example of how I still don't know what all of this does. It's frightening. Oh, look,
Don't
Martin
tell me
says,
one, but me neither.
Martin says, thanks all. Leon is always a good guest. Yes. But
Liam's the best.
Leon's brilliant, isn't he? We're going to get out of here, guys. We will see you on Thursday. Hope you're enjoying the show. Happy days. I think that's it, Matt. No other business.
Yeah.
Let's go. Bye. I nearly said love you instinctively. I nearly went, love you. Bye.